And we back. Now, recently, I've been having a lot of fun playing around with the legends in NBA 2K. I did a historic, legendary fantasy draft that went really well. But today I was thinking about what would happen if I added just one legend to every NBA team, corresponding to what they played in their career. So, of course, like Michael Jordan is back with the Bulls. We got Kobe back with the Lakers, and so on and so forth. So I did that. I assigned one legend to every current NBA team to see which legend will really have that big of an impact. Did the Bulls go from a bad team to a good team because MJ's back in town? Find out in today's video. Be sure to leave a like. Let's get into it. Now we have to briefly pause the video to talk about today's sponsor, which is NordVPN. As y'all know, I travel a lot for work, so one of the most essential tools for me when I'm out on the job is NordVPN. And let's briefly talk about what a VPN is if you don't really know. It redirects all the information that is coming in and out of your computer via the internet, making it a lot harder for people to access your data that you don't want accessing your data. So whether I'm in an airport lobby or in a new hotel, I can feel secure with NordVPN. It's not only just security aspect that I really enjoy about NordVPN, it also has super fast servers counting for over 5,500 different servers in 60 different countries. One of the most underrated parts about NordVPN is that it unlocks Netflix from all across the globe. So right now I'm in the United States, but some shows aren't shown on US Netflix. Well, I can easily go into NordVPN, change my location, and now I have shows from across the globe. And if you don't want to trust me, trust the experts, because NordVPN was voted the best VPN at Best VPN Awards of 2019. So hit the link in the description to go to nordvpn.com/KOT4Q and use KOT4Q at checkout and get 70% off a 3-year plan plus an additional 1 month. Again, that is nordvpn.com/KOT4Q and code KOT4Q at checkout. So I think the most important thing to do is to show you what legends are on what team. So of course, for the 76ers, we brought in Allen Iverson. One of the big criticisms of this Philadelphia 76ers team is that they don't have much shot creation, not much three-point shooting, and well, Allen Iverson brings both of those things. So he's a 97 overall out of Georgetown. Y'all know Allen Iverson, one of my favorite players of all time. Next, with the Milwaukee Bucks, we brought in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 99 overall, gives Giannis a nice little superstar. I mean, I guess this is Kareem's team now, and Giannis is the backseat. But this is about to be ridiculous to guard with Giannis at the 4 and Kareem at the 5. Then with the Bulls, I already mentioned it. We got Michael Jordan back in town, 25 years old, 47 badges. The man is really the GOAT. So we got him alongside a lot of young Bulls, man. Y'all know that Jordan had the reputation of being hard on his teammates. Can these young Bulls really elevate themselves now that Jordan is in town? Then we have the Cavaliers. Larry Nance is the guy. Now you're looking at me like, Kenny, where's LeBron? Where's Kyrie? Because those guys are still active NBA players, why would we have 2 LeBrons in the league at the same time? You know what I'm saying? So because of that, I had to go with your next best player that is retired, and that happened to be Larry Nance Sr. But it's also interesting because he's playing with his son. So you know what I'm saying? We got Larry Nance Sr. and Larry Nance Jr. on the same roster. I'm sorry, Cavs fans. It's not much I can really do. But next, we move on to the Celtics. Of course, it's got to be Larry Bird. It's kind of interesting because they could use some nice pieces at small forward here in Boston, and that fits perfectly. Instead of having Gordon Hayward, you have Larry Bird. Jason Tatum still at the 4. You got Jaylen Brown at the 2. I think this is a sleeper team. You still worry a bit about like Daniel Tice going against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and players like that, but this is definitely a sleeper team to win a championship, I think. Then we have the Clippers. We bring in Bob McAdoo, 6'9", out of, oh man, what college did Bob McAdoo go to? North Carolina. I swear I knew that, and now that I see it, I feel bad. I'm a bad NBA fan. But Bob McAdoo is coming to the team. Of course, I couldn't add CP. I couldn't add Blake Griffin because, again, those are still active NBA players. But they get a center. Y'all know Montrezl Harrell was the backup anyway, playing 6-man role. So now you get like a superstar quality center instead of Zubac, who was playing that role. Joe Kim is still on the team too, so I'm rooting for y'all. Then we have the Memphis Grizzlies, and Pau Gasol is going to be the guy. Now, Pau technically is still in 2K, but he hasn't really played in over a season. He has some surgeries, and something tells me that he'll probably be done playing basketball, even though yesterday I got a notification that said he wants to finish his career with the Lakers. But that seems like more of a sign and retire thing, like Paul Pierce had that. You know, you just sign back with the organization for 1 day and then you officially retire. So we have Pau back. And if you watched yesterday's video, well, I guess actually, Maybe it was 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I don't know when this video is uploading. I had some fun playing around with Pau Gasol and the Memphis Grizzlies back on NBA 2K7. Watch that video. It was a banger. One of my favorite videos I recorded recently. So next we go with the Atlanta Hawks. Of course, this man has a statue outside of the State Farm Arena. It's Dominique Wilkins. Thought about Bob Pettit, but it just makes more sense for Dominique Wilkins, especially since Bob Pettit would play power forward. This means that they would have to move John Collins to the bench or to the center position, when in reality, they need some help at small forward anyway. So Dominique Wilkins is going to come in and fill that void and help them become successful. Then we have the Miami Heat. Dwyane Wade is officially retired, so we brought him right back. We brought Dwyane Wade right back. So again, we can't do LeBron. We can't do those players. But Dwyane Wade is here to run shooting guard instead of Duncan Robinson. And I think these guys are really close friends, Dwyane Wade and Jimmy Butler. Maybe they can get it done. Then we have the Hornets. Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice is a dope player. They just don't really have that many like superstar players in their history. So 89 overall, Glenn Rice is the guy. Then we have Karl Malone coming to the Jazz. Now, y'all know we don't mess with Karl Malone in this channel, but I have to say that he was a very good NBA player. Don't mess with him outside of that. So we brought him to the team. He's going to start at power forward with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, and maybe he can win a championship. But then again, Jordan is back, so maybe Jordan is just going to stop this man from winning the championship in 2020. Then the Sacramento Kings, we have Oscar Robertson. Now, the problem is that their second best player is De'Aaron Fox, and I guess De'Aaron Fox is going to move to the bench. I don't know. Luke Walton got to figure that out. Who's starting, who comes off the bench. Well, obviously, Big O is starter, but maybe move De'Aaron to the 2, or, I mean, you move Oscar to the 2. His overall goes up to a 99. I'll do that for the organization. Y'all can keep y'all 2 best players in the starting lineup. Then we have the Knicks. Patrick Ewing. Now, they do have so many big guys that are worthy of, getting minutes in New York. But I had to go with him. I couldn't go with Melo because Melo is still an active NBA player. Then the Lakers. Kobe's back. I know there are so many historic players in Lakers history. We could have brought back Magic. We could have brought back a lot of different players. But it just makes sense to bring back Kobe, as Kobe just being one of my favorites. Kobe just being one of my favorite Lakers of all time. And then him and LeBron get to play together. I mean, technically, I guess I could have brought Magic in to be Showtime Lakers again. But it just makes sense for it to be Kobe. I hope you understand. I hope you understand. Then the Magic, absolutely. I put Penny Hardaway on the Magic. Let me fix that real quick. I'll be right back. See, I'm not a perfect person, man. So we're gonna trade Courtney Lee for Penny Hardaway. 5-star value for 1-star value trade override, because obviously Penny Hardaway should be the guy. Anyway, Penny Hardaway is the starting point guard. One of the things about Orlando is they struggle to have elite point guard play since Penny Hardaway left. I mean, you had that 1 year of Jameer Nelson where he was an all-star, but Penny Hardaway's been their best point guard, and now he is taking over for DJ and Markelle. They still got the rest of their roster. Very interesting roster. Should be a playoff team, but you never really know. Then we have the Mavericks. Y'all know Dirk is back. Him and Luke are back together, but now we have prime Dirk instead of 40-year-old Dirk. And this team is going to be interesting. This top three should win a bunch of games. Then we move on to the Nets. And with the Nets, we brought in Julius Erving. Now they got to figure things out. Maybe we make Julius Erving a shooting guard for them, or we make KD a power forward. I think it makes sense to make KD a power forward. I know his overall is going to drop, but he can run that at 6'10", So we're going to have a star lineup of Kyrie, Karis LeVert, Julius Erving, KD, and Jared Allen or DeAndre Jordan, whoever they decide. That's a crazy lineup. Then we have the Nuggets. David Thompson is going to come in. They've been needing some help at shooting guard. Gary Harris offensively ain't been that the past season or so. And David Thompson was an all-time bucket getter. Let's look at his stats here. 27 points per game in 1977, 50% from the field. He was a bona fide bucket without the three-point shot. So imagine him now that he got the three-point shot. So that should be interesting there. The Pacers, Reggie Miller, Kenny, Reggie Miller is not in 2K. Well, I downloaded Reggie Miller and added him to the list. And it's not Riggy Miller. No, it's not Riggy Miller. It's Reggie Miller. So he's at 95 overall. He's playing with Sabonis. He's playing with Malcolm Brogdon, the VO. I guess I can make him a small forward for the squad so VO can still get his starter minutes. And Reggie Miller, it should be interesting. Now, the guy that created him, I don't know who he is. I literally just downloaded Reggie Miller. So let's see how OP or how bad he ends up being. Then with the Pelicans, we brought in Baron Davis to be the starting point guard. Lonzo's going to move to the bench role. Baron Davis being that guy. Of course, there are a few guys like Anthony Davis that we could have put in, or CP. But again, active NBA player. So Baron Davis going to do that. He's got 50 badges, man. A bucket. You got the defensive badges. He's got everything. He's got everything in his toolbox. So pair him with alongside Zion and Brandon Ingram, a slept-on team, I think. The Pistons. They're going to have Isaiah Thomas. The Isaiah Thomas. Bad boy Piston Isaiah Thomas, of course. And let's see how he reacts to having this roster. It's going to be tough for him, but if anybody can do it, maybe it is him. The Raptors, Chris Bosh is back. We couldn't bring in Vince Carter because Vince Carter's still active. He's been active for so long. So Chris Bosh is the guy. He's a 90 overall player. He's only got 5 badges, and this is 2K's version of him. I didn't download this. 2K really did Chris Bosh bogus, to be honest with you. Then we have the Rockets. They went from small ball to having one of the best centers of all time with their roster. Hakeem Olajuwon is in town. You know, he's got his MVPs. He got a trophy, a ring. You know, so him, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, and that boy right there should be an interesting combination. The Spurs bring back Timmy Duncan, of course, one of the best players of all time. I guess he's going to be coaching and playing. You know, one of the rare cases of that. The Suns bring in Steve Nash, so Devin Booker finally gets that point guard he's been waiting for. One of the best point guards of all time, Steve Nash. OKC Thunder bring in Ray Allen. Of course, his time being in Seattle, same organization. I'm going to make him a small forward so Shea can still get his minutes and his overall stays the same. Gallinari and Steven Adams. And then with the Timberwolves, y'all know we had to bring in the big ticket. Let's go. The big ticket, 97 overall. He's going to get on these young boys' tails, but you know what? They need that. They need that. Then we have Clyde Drexler. We're going to make him a small forward. So we can have Dame, CJ, and Clyde Drexler starting with Hassan Whiteside. The Warriors bring in Will Chamberlain. Now, if this team wasn't already pretty good, now they have the center instead of having Marquise Chris or Kevon Looney. They have Wilt Chamberlain. And then lastly, we have Wes Unseld for the Washington Wizards, the only player in NBA history to win MVP as a rookie. All right, so those are all the guys we're adding to the team. And let's see how this goes. I think I want to go like 2 years. I think I want to go 2 years because I want to see what free agency is like. Because I did see like Reggie Miller's on a 1-year deal. I think Will Chamberlain was on a 1-year deal. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some of these guys go and play different places. So the Bulls still suck, even with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan can't turn this team around. He's averaging 37 and 6.5 with 2.7 steals. He's shooting 50% from 3. That's something MJ never was able to do. But that's still not enough to get these Bulls to play any better. Yeah, that's very, very tough. JJ Reddick plays for the Nets now. Interesting. We got to look at trades. Iggy plays for the Nets now. We got to look at some trades, y'all. Let's take a look around the league first, around league leaders. Stephen Curry is still the man. 32 points per game, 50% from the field, 45% from 3, and then 93% from the free throw line. That boy is a bucket. So we already looked at Michael Jordan. D'Angelo Russell, even with the big tick in the town, he's averaging 29 points per game. Luka Doncic still averages 29. Dominique Wilkins averages 28. Honestly, I was expecting way more legends on top of this. David Thompson, I mentioned he was a bucket, and well, he's getting those. Isaiah Thomas, I mean, he plays for the Pistons, so somebody got to score for them, right? Larry Bird averaging 25. Karl Malone, 25. I was definitely look at LeBron and Kobe points per game are identical. I was expecting more legends at the tippity top, but now I'm seeing them funnel in. Rookie report, of course, Ja Morant's averaging 25 points per game. Wow. Powell is not taking that ball out of his hands, I see. What else do we need to look at? Let's see who's good and who's bad. So the Bucks are amazing still, as you can probably imagine, with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar coming in, playing amazing offense, amazing defense, and they were already a good team to start off with. Then, of course, with Julius Erving, they're playing well. Who's the worst team? The Knicks are still bad. Sorry to say that. The Knicks are still bad. I mean, Patrick Ewing is doing his thing, but he can only do so much. They have 11 wins. Glenn Rice is averaging 18 points per game. He's shooting 62% from the field, 57% from 3. We need him to take more shots there. Yeah, his shot tendency sucks. We need him to take more shots if he's shooting that efficient. Come on, man. What is going on? The Pistons are still bad. We mentioned Isaiah Thomas's stats, but I mean, he's playing with these guys. So the Pacers are bad. That's an interesting one. I thought for sure they were going to be like a playoff team. They made a trade. Steven Adams is starting for them. I'm guessing Miles Who did they trade away? Who the heck did they trade away? Did they still have Miles Turner? I thought Miles Turner was going to be the one. All right, we got to look at trades later. Wes Unseld trying to do his thing. He's only averaging 12 points per game, but he's still playing with Bradley Beal and John Wall, who's going to get their buckets. The Miami Heat are actually worse than the Bulls. Dwyane Wade, 21 points per game. Yeah, this is rough. This is rough. Let's look out west. Out west, the Warriors and the Lakers are tied. The Portland Trailblazers. Clyde is doing his thing. Who's the worst? The absolute worst. The San Antonio Spurs with Tim Duncan is not enough to make the playoffs. That's weird. KG is only averaging 14 points per game. 2K has a shot tendency super low. He's a 98 overall, and he can't even take. Man, 2K is such a flawed game. I say that much. Steve Nash averaging Steve Nash type stuff, but that's not enough for the Suns. Let's look at trades though, because I did see a couple things out there that got me wondering. Let's look at the bottom. We got a lot of trades. Hold on. Trades. All right, let's start from the bottom. We have the trade that we did to get Penny Hardaway on the Magic. Rudy Gay for George Hill. Okay. Patrick Beverly for PJ Tucker. All right. Gary Harris for a first-round pick and Bembry. Daniel Tice gets traded away for Jamal Crawford and Ricky Rubio. So I don't know who's starting at center. Who is starting at center for the Celtics? Now that's something we got to look at, because now that Enes Kanter is starting at center, and they're 25 and 25, so they should not have made that trade. That's what I would say. They should not have made that trade. Okay, let's go back to where we were. Yogi Ferrell for Ed Davis. Any of these trades? Taj Gibson for Thanasis. So, it was Jeremy Lamb that got traded for Steven Adams. Got it. Jeremy Lamb. Boogie got traded for Shake Melton. Svi got traded for a first-round pick. This is Felicio got traded away. Thank God. There's that. JJ Reddick got traded for Torian Prince in the second. Iggy for TLC. Marcus Saul for Gorgie Zhang. D Rose for Matisse Thybulle. Draymond for Tristan Thompson. I mean, at least my boy Derrick Rose is playing for a good team in the 76ers. All right, so there's that. All-Star appearances. Yes, it's actually pretty interesting to see which of these legends did not make an All-Star game. So the starting lineup for Team Oscar are all legends and Steph Curry. Then the bench is all legends and Luka Doncic. That is crazy. Then we have Team Michael Jordan. Even though the team is below 500, Michael Jordan is still the GOAT. So, of course, he's going to be a captain. All legends. And then on the reserves, it's all legends plus LeBron and Giannis. That is crazy. So all of the current day NBA players we know and love, none of them making the All-Star game because the legends just took over. In the midst of all of the craziness, Steph Curry still comes out with an MVP. Ja Rookie of the Year. Sixth man went to Nurkic. Jordan wins Defensive Player of the Year like he's young again. Luka Most Improved. Mike Budenholzer Coach of the Year. All NBA first team. We see 3 current day players, man. Steph, Luka, Giannis, Karl Malone makes it. Okay, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Then on the second team, Big O, MJ, Timmy D, even though their team sucked. Clyde and Will Chamberlain. Third team has Baron Davis, David Thompson, Anthony Davis, Larry Bird, Bob McAdoo. Defensive teams, we see Dwyane Wade. We see Hakeem Olajuwon. We see MJ, obviously. Kobe, KG, Patrick Ewing. Rookie teams, pretty self-explanatory. All right. So let's go back to look at the standings and surprise the teams to not make the playoffs. Like I mentioned earlier, this Pacer team, I definitely expected them to be better. The Bulls, I can see why they sucked. I mean, the rest of the roster is not very good other than Jordan. The Cavs actually were better than I expected. The Pistons ended the season on a 17-game losing streak, y'all. 17-game losing streak. Oh, my God. They are tanking for that first overall pick. Then the Knicks ended up being at the bottom. Out west, the Lakers and the Warriors tied, but the Lakers ended up as the 1 seed there. Any team down here that I expected to make the playoffs, I'm surprised that the Jazz didn't. I guess it was competitive. I mean, they were just 2 games out of the playoffs. The Memphis Grizzlies were there, but they didn't make it. I'm so surprised that the Spurs only won 31 games, honestly. Tim Duncan, jeez. All right, let's see who wins the championship of this first year. Wow, I cannot believe that one. The Hawks ended up beating the Nets, and then they end up beating Philly. AI, what's up, man? He averaged 23 in the playoffs, but the 6th seed Atlanta Hawks are in the conference finals. I mean, they're down 2-0. But yeah, they get eliminated, but the 6th seed made it pretty far as we get Clippers Oh, man, the good old LA versus LA matchup. And the Clippers, Bob McAdoo was too much. In the game 7, Reggie Jackson, it wasn't, Kawhi had a bad game that he fouled out of. Reggie Jackson in the game 7 came up clutch. And now we got a 2-2 series between, the Clippers. And Bob McAdoo happens to be the most valuable player added to a team. All right. Now, let's see. Do we have anybody retiring? Nope. Nobody of real value as far as this challenge goes. Let's see who wins the lottery. What if we draft a future Hall of Famer right here? The Hornets, the Pels, and the Grizzlies jump all the way up because the Grizzlies barely missed the playoffs. They were tied for the 8th seed. They made a huge old jump to make the top 3. And yeah, look at this draft class. Look at this draft class. The best guy is Cam Sessions. He's a center compared to Elton Brand. This guy compared to Alec Burks. So you know he's going to have some good trade value. Another guy to Alec Burks. Latrell Sprewell. I mean, none of this really matters. I'm going to go to free agency, though. I want to see what free agency is going to look like. Because we did have some of the legends. We did have some of the legends in there. Like Michael Jordan is a free agent. Larry Bird is a free agent. Tim Duncan is a free agent. Dirk, KG, AD, y'all know that. AD went from the hottest free agent in real life to having 0 offers because all of these legends are around. Julius Erving, Reggie Miller has 0 offers. Oh my God, there's so many great players here. All right, I'm gonna simulate a few days into free agency, and let's see. Tim Duncan still doesn't have a job. Reggie Miller still does not have a job. Dirk still does not have a job. I mean, they got offers, but no job right now. Let's see who has signed though. Jordan stayed with the Bulls, loyal to the soil. What can you say? Larry Bird, Julius Erving, all these guys have stayed loyal. I mean, at the end of the day, that does make a lot of sense considering he basically was a Bulls lifer, even though he did retire a few times. Larry Bird was a Celtics lifer. Julius Erving, spent a lot of time in Philly, but did end up in Brooklyn. Let's go a couple more days in. All right, free agency is over, and Tim Duncan is still there with. What? Dirk said, forget my 20 years of being a part of the Mavericks. I'm going to go to the Hornets. KG went to the Spurs, so Tim Duncan is out. Oh, man. Oh, that is crazy. That is crazy. Those are the big signings, though. Those are the big changes. Tim Duncan is still out there with 19 offers, but none of them are good for him. Anthony Davis has 0 offers. Reggie Miller has a few offers, but none of them are good. Glenn Rice is not there anymore. Larry Nance is no offers. This is crazy. I'm guessing that all of them will get picked up, at least the super important ones like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's not starting the season as a free agent. He better not. Or me in this game are going to have some problems. So he's not. He signed somewhere. Let's see where he ended up going. Tim Duncan went to the Nuggets. Oh my God. Jokic, Tim Duncan, David Thompson. All right. Who else is a free agent that had no offers? I know Anthony Davis was one of them. Let's see, where's AD? AD went to the Hornets too. So AD and Dirk teamed up. Reggie Miller went to the Knicks. Oh man, that's interesting. So let me take a look at that Knicks roster now. First let's look at these Hornets. They also had the first overall pick at Cam Sessions. Now, obviously, one of these guys has to play center. It's going to have to be AD because you can't make Dirk a center. So let's run AD at the center just to help y'all out. Because I would be so mad if Anthony Davis was coming off the bench. So that's their situation. Let's take a look at the Knicks. They have Reggie Miller and Patrick Ewing, who had some battles, back in their day. But now they're teaming up. They put all of that aside. And then the Spurs were another team that made a change in having KG instead of Tim Duncan. I don't know how much better that makes your team. Only time will tell. Larry Nance ends up signing with the Timberwolves because KG went along his way. And now there's a roster spot open in this team. So Will Chamberlain wins MVP this season. He ain't putting up the 50 points per game like he did in real life, but he had a pretty decent stat line. Cam Sessions wins Rookie of the Year. Chris Paul, 6th Man of the Year. Okay, I guess some trades had to happen. Yeah, Chris Paul is coming off the bench behind Steve Nash. Wow. Hakeem Olajuwon wins Defensive Player of the Year. DeAndre Ayton wins Most Improved. I mean, he's playing alongside Chris Paul and Steve Nash, so you better have some good old numbers as a big man. Coach Ewing to Coach Budenholzer. So here are the All-NBA teams. Nothing super crazy. I mean, I see that there were some trades that went on, so I definitely want to see what teams are looking like right now. because the fact that Chris Paul got traded tells me that maybe we got some even bigger trades. So I'm just going to briefly go through these. Al Horford and Josh Richardson got traded for Blake Griffin and Luke Kennard. Chris Paul got traded for Bruno Fernando and a first-round pick. So they didn't even really give up much. The Spurs end up trading LaMarcus for Tobias Harris. Draymond gets traded for the second time in this video. So now let's see who made the playoffs and who didn't for year number 2. We still have the Bucks at the top because why wouldn't they be at the top? This team is ridiculous. 76ers are there. I mean, this team won 63 games and the second seed won 47. Like, come on, dog. Come on, dog. That's such a big gap. They are the heavy favorite. But then we have the Hornets. Yo, the Hornets went from the first overall pick to having 2 of the greatest bigs of all time. And then their first overall pick having a good season too. A very good storyline for 41-41. I mean, they had a below 500 team make the playoffs out east. So it's a very interesting Eastern Conference. The worst team, the Pistons, are still bad even after the Blake Griffin trade. I mean, they signed Montrezl Harrell. They tried to get more help for Isaiah Thomas, but it just was not enough. It just was not enough. And then again, the Pacers just are not performing. Oh, because Reggie Miller signed somewhere else. So now it makes sense that they're not performing. Then out west, we have the Nuggets playing very, very well with Tim Duncan and David Thompson. This team is my favorite to win it all, man. This team is just too good. They even got Rashawn Holmes, Will Barton. That team is nice. That team is very, very nice. Anybody else? Who's the worst team? That makes sense. That makes sense. It is just Ray Allen, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Dennis right now. They already traded Steven Adams. Gallinari was a free agent. Then they traded Chris Paul. So it does make sense that this team is one of the worst. The Lakers with Kobe and LeBron ended up being the second worst out west. I mean, their starting center is a rookie, a second-round pick, Mitchell Bayless. I mean, he had a decent season, but that should never be the case where your starting center is a second-round rookie unless he's just doing some crazy stuff, and that guy was not. Kobe averages 26 points per game. Take a look around the league. Bob McAdoo led in scoring from finals MVP to leading the league in scoring, and here's all the rest of the league. All right, let's get to see who wins the championship this time around. The Bulls ended up winning 33 games, so they just sucked. And we get a 1-2 and then a 1-3. This time, the Atlanta Hawks are the 3 seed instead of the 6 seed. They made it to the conference finals again, but this time they win it. They win the conference. Trae Young in a game 7 puts up 45 and 6. Amazing stats for him, especially since nobody else on the team really had a big game. He just really came and showed out. So we have Hawks versus Nuggets in the championship. 2-1 Nuggets and 4-1 Nuggets, and David Thompson wins MVP. Interesting stuff there. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave it a like. As always, if you're new, subscribe. Link is in the description to all my other channels. I've been streaming a lot over on Twitch, so that's also in the description. All right, we'll be back. Peace.